He's going to be a Hall of Famer. 12 years in the NFL, all with the Saints. 8 times an All-Pro. He led the Saints in sacks again this year. The great Cam Jordan is joining us on the set, an Arizona kid who made the drive. How are you? You know what? It's amazing. You play in a sport where guys bench 500 and bang into each other, and you're aging well. How do you do it?
Man, God is good. You know, you wake up in the morning, you have a glass of water, you look at your life, you say, we've done well. Let's continue.
So I want to ask you, so Sean Payton left you. He came to work with us, Cam, for a year. I've never learned more football. The metaphors, the analogies. Now, you're a defensive guy, but and so I was just probing on the air, texting. I was like a nuisance.
So now you talk more with your hands.
That's what Sean does. What is it's like this, obviously it's a tough year for the Saints. Even though he's an offensive coach, when he left the building, what did you lose with Sean Payton? Like, explain that to the audience.
I mean, huge level of energy. I mean, you know, his energy is so offensive minded. It's, hey, you know, I see a wide receiver split at the hash, but it's not exactly at the hash. I want you to be inside of the hash. If you know Sean Payton, Sean's going to hit you with this. He'd be like, bro, what does that mean? You see a receiver literally shift over and be like, yeah. Now as you go, when you have that step, you have a little bit more wiggle room to get open here. You love to see it happen from the defensive side. You're like, dang, I wouldn't even think, you know, this could matter or whatever it is. He'd be like, oh, you got cover 2, you got 1 high. This is where it's coming down. We're going to expose this. It's going to be a touchdown. And in Sean's mind, it's going to be a touchdown. Yeah. And when it happens, that's when you see Sean come down to the defensive side. He'll come down, hey, I got 40 more plays just like this. You're all striking. I want 50. And you see that on the defense side of the ball. You're like, he's going for 50, you know? And it's easy to buy in, and you love to see it. And he brings us a level of consistency Monday through Saturday. You're just going to get exactly the same, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to improve on today. This is what we're focused on. Now,
how will he work? I like Russell Wilson.
You see how I left Sunday open, though.
You did. I like Russell Wilson. You know, a lot of Seahawks took shots at him when he left. It made me go, whoa. The Denver thing was not just bad, it was a disaster.
The first year. There's still time.
So do you think Sean's capable of being confrontational and saying, hey, this thing?
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely. I mean, the greatest thing that I saw about, you know, him going to Denver is Sean is overly confident in his abilities.
Oh, no question.
He believes that what his system is going to work, and it is a winning system. If you know Russell, you've met Russell plenty of times. Russell Wilson's mentality is so confident and positive. He's going to win in all aspects of life. Yeah. You put both those mentalities together, you can't tell me it's not going to be a positive influence on each other.
So I want to talk. You guys did not play Kansas City. You did play Philadelphia. Now, Gardner Minshew was the quarterback.
Right.
But I think
4 sacks, 13.5, 14.5, and 15.5. Yeah.
Say again?
I mean, just to pass up Ricky Jackson, just a 3-sack night. Don't worry about it. We walked into 2023 in an all-right position because of Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm with it.
So people love their offensive line. You had some success.
Yeah.
So this is something we've talked about a lot, is that I think Kansas City's O-line is being told all week that the Eagles have the best line in football. And I think Tooney's great. Creed Humphrey's great. I think KC's O-line is hearing all week how great the O-line is for the Eagles. But you had success against it. You tell me, is the Eagles O-line a little overrated? It's like a little old in spots.
Well, look, Colin, I have never changed. I don't know if offensive linemen, in my mind, I'm just indifferent about them. You could say this one's great, this one's amazing, this one's bad, this one's terrible. Offensive linemen are cool to have because you need them. There needs to be an offensive line, right? You know, you can't replace a guy like Teron Armstead, the Lane Johnsons, your Trent Williams. But other than that, offensive linemen are just people who get in the way, right? Like, in my mind, I don't hate them, I don't love them. They're just people that get in the way.
They don't decide games.
So you dropped off names I have never looked at. You know, I think that guys like Pat Mahomes, that's what you're rushing. You're not rushing, oh, I got to beat whoever your tackle is, right? I'm trying to get to where Pat Mahomes is going to be. I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts in the game, I've played him twice now, and not including this last time because, you know, Gardner's there. Right. you're rushing the quarterback. You're not rushing the offensive lineman. It doesn't matter how good Big Malatu is over on the Eagles or how great of a phenomenal athlete Lane Johnson is. You're going against Jalen. Jalen's going to step up. He's going to make plays. He's going to roll out. It's like, seeing Russell in his prime. It's seeing Mike Vick when he was doing his thing. Lamar when he was in the MVP season. You don't know where the quarterback's going to be, and that makes it the part hard to rush.
So I can say this now, and I'll tread delicately. You told me years ago.
Yeah.
You said, Colin, you're a little hot on Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You did.
Absolutely.
You said, settle down.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's going to last. You told me this.
Absolutely. He was young, and he's a runner. And, like you see Andrew Luck, what happened to his career. Like, as a runner who takes a lot of hits, a lot of brunt, like, it's not – eventually your body does break down. Eventually your quarterbacks live a good life. Okay. They only get hit on Sundays. Their body's not used to getting hit. So now on Sundays, you get smacked. And as much as the rules protect quarterbacks, you're still taking those hits.
Okay, so Jalen Hurts averages 11 rushes a game.
Yeah.
Only Lamar in the history of the league has averaged that. He's not a big man. You faced him twice. Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same way about Jalen as you did about Kyler?
I put Jalen in sort of like the Cam Newton. I don't compare him to Lamar. I compare him to like the Cam Newton type.
He can throw.
He can throw, run, but he's bigger than you think he is. Like Lamar is a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal quarterback. The Ravens should pay that man yesterday. Jalen Hurts is heavier. He's built different. When he's not I wouldn't say he's as elusive, but he's making those electric plays because he's just as fast.
And he's bigger than you think.
Absolutely. He's sort of built like Dak Prescott and runs like Cam Newton.
Okay, that's interesting. It was funny because I think I told you this the other day on the air. Terry Bradshaw's a pretty big dude. Mm-hmm. And he was on stage with Jalen Hurts. And my takeaway was, Jalen's way bigger than I thought. He is. Yeah. Now, Kyler, as you told me earlier, you were on the field. You're
right.
Like, that's small.
Absolutely. I hit him one year. I hit him, and I hit the ground so hard. I didn't realize, the size difference. So I hit him, and I try to smack him. I'm trying to, I'm from Arizona, so anytime I play the Cardinals, I'm trying to have stories to talk all my stuff to my uncles. So I smacked Kyler. I hit the ground so hard, I got up. I was like, oh, I know that hurt. If it hurts me, I know it hurt him. But Kyler is a hell of a baller. You know what I'm saying? What he does with his feet, what he's able to do on the field is spectacular. But because he does take those hits, that's, I was like, I don't know if he can play at this rate, but he's going crazy. Now, that being said, he could be the next, Joe Montana. Yeah. The smaller guy who's going to make it work. Yeah. But I'd love to see him pan out. I just the hits he takes isn't sustainable.
So how do you view I love Mahomes, but not just because he's great. I think he's coachable. I think he had good parenting. He's so good at the podium, always giving teammates credit. He's never, you can't ever, you can ask him a question, and he's always too smart and mature to bite on it. Like he's one of those guys. And a lot of guys bite on. Baker Mayfield bit on everything. I mean, everything. So, but when Mahomes goes sidearm and clever and lateral.
And left arm and underhand.
When he does, the defensive guys ever think, bro, don't showboat. Don't be showboating on me.
If I'm on his team or if I'm against him.
Against him.
Oh, yeah, against him. No. You just got to be you're at this point, you're unfazed. He's going to, it's just one of those tricks that he has. It's like Aaron Rodgers can, make every throw in the book off of his back foot, right? Some things you just attribute to who they are. Pat Mahomes, you're going to get an electric play. Relax. There's still a game to play.
And that's how coaches coach. Don't lose any sleep.
Hey, he's going to do something crazy, and it may or may not work. Take it with stride. You know what I'm saying? Let's bottle it up, play the next play. Because, he has all the weapons. You talk about, when we played him, it was Tyreek Hill, it was Travis Kelce, it was, all these guys. McCole Hardman was just entered the league. Now, this year, Tyreek's gone, but there's Pacheco. There's still Travis, the premier tight end. If he's 1A, George Kittle would be 1B, but you'd say he's the top tight end. And then, of course, you have McCole Hardman. You've got these top-tier guys that he's out here throwing to that can make electric plays. And so what he can do. He's a wizard. So sometimes a little magic happens.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to be honest on this. Not that you're ever dishonest. But Cal is one of the great public universities.
The number one public university in the nation.
I thought it was Virginia.
No, it's Cal.
Are you sure? Because the latest rating I saw had Cal second. But I don't want to get into it.
I mean, unless it was a 2023, I saw it in December, and it was the University of California, Berkeley.
Okay. So that said, all the Cal guys that come on my show are smart guys. There are certain universities, like Duke basketball players, Cal football players, they're always smart. And so I think Aaron Rodgers is very smart. It's never about that.
Go Bears.
I do think, is that as you age and rosters get younger as a quarterback, Brady did this. You gotta kind of listen to the music. You got to connect. Young receivers, young tight ends. So when Aaron doesn't go all in on the offseason, does the retreats, my takeaway is, dude, they just got a wide receiver from Reno and an FCS school. You got to show up to OTA for 3 days. These guys are totally intimidated by Aaron Rodgers, and he didn't, and it bothered me. It wouldn't bother me if you're a Mike linebacker or a corner. Quarterback, young receivers, it's a timing thing. So now I hear he's going to go on a 4-day trip, darkness, isolation. I'm for meditation. I'm not judging. I'm all good. I live near Hollywood. I'm not judging.
You need your reprieves.
But you're a Cal guy. You Cal guys are global. You see the world differently. A lot of young guys are looking at that thing, and they're thinking, my quarterback, I don't know if I... Do you think there are guys in that room?
Absolutely not.
That think Aaron's a little out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But being out there doesn't mean that it's not a good team mesh. At the end of the day, you've got... How many MVPs has he won? Yeah, I know
2, 3, something like that.
Yeah, it's 3 because he won 2 back-to-back and he won one younger. So at least 3, right? I mean, you have a quarterback that's in an unparalleled tier. You know what he can bring to the table. And even when you start off on a bad season, you've seen Aaron Rodgers go 0-4, and the world put their pressure on him. And he's like, relax, and they end up in the playoffs. You've seen Aaron Rodgers like, this is what we need to improve on, and it happens. At the end of the day, he wants to win. I could care less what you do between your time and your time. But when we get between the lines of field between September and January, we're aiming to get to February.
What do you do in the offseason?
Typically, I'm in here training. I take about a month off. I start training back up in like March-ish.
Do you travel the globe? What do you do?
That's why I say typically, because this year, I'm gone.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Spain. I'm gonna be there. I don't know. I'm taking the wife, the kids. If we had a dog, the dog. I'm taking everything. Like we're going. I'm trying to get bilingual, and until I see some sort of cognitive understanding of the comprehension of the language, I'm not coming back.
That's good.
I assume it's May.
Do.
Yeah. I
you
assume
go overseas.
Yeah. I need to get out there. The kids are young enough where they before we start taking off into sports, the timing is just right. I've put 12 years in this league, and I say, in my mind, the right way of never not being available, never not being there. I got nothing but love for my team. My team knows exactly where I stand. They got my number. You can call me anytime. But I'm going to Spain.
I got a question. You've made enough money. You're obviously really, really smart. You could call it a day.
Years ago.
So could have Brady 10 years ago.
Right.
But there was something about Brady, drafted late, overlooked, whatever it is, genetics. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Do you have that in you, or do you want the next life pretty soon?
Next life? What is?
Next life is on your terms, not lifting
I'm not
weights
Egyptian.
every day.
I don't know if there is a afterlife and next life.
No, I mean,
no. I'm so focused on football that it hurts to lose. The fact that I'm not in the playoffs this last 2 years hurts. The fact that we, at some point this season, I looked up and we were 3-7. I'd never been there before. There's times where you look at it, you're like, we have the talent. I hate when we look good on paper, because when you have so much potential and you don't live up to potential, it hurts here, not so much here. Here, you're rationalizing things. We've got, we at the beginning of the season, we had Jarvis Landry, Mike Thomas. We just drafted Chris Olave. Jameis is out here. Can't wait to see his potential. You had, we back up in Andy Dalton. And then on defensive side, it's me, DeMario. Marcus Davenport just came off of 9 sacks. You've got David Onyemata, who's probably the most underrated defensive tackle in the league. we got a young kid in Pete Werner from Ohio State, that can tackle anything and everything. And you're like, yo, we got so much potential we can live up to. And when that doesn't happen, you're disappointed. And that's more disappointed. You're like, I got to take a breath. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking a breath. I'm taking a quick. But in terms of football, ain't no way. That's all I see. Okay. I love hitting people. Now, if the refs would get out of my way in terms of throwing flags every time I do hit somebody, it could be a better game. Maybe just for me. Because the fans want more. Yeah, fans want more touchdowns.
That's right. NFL rivals, you're working with them. What are they doing?
Ooh, we talking about NFL rivals launching this game. NFL rivals where you can be your own coach, your own GM. You can assemble your team, assemble the Avengers, if you will. You're 9v9 going against whoever and whatever with whoever you decide to draft. These cards going in. I think that Mythical Games have done a great job of putting this together and bringing back a nostalgic sense of sort of what football was when we were growing up, when you were playing NFL Blitz, when you were taking NFL Streets, when you were really smacking cats. I think I don't even think when Ray Lewis was playing. I think about when Reggie White was playing. You know what I'm saying? Those rattling hits that get you excited. Maybe because I'm different. I've always loved the defensive side. I grew up, Pops was a tight end. He's like, hey, I want you to catch this. Catch? I'm trying to hit somebody. I'm like, who wants to score a touchdown when you can sack a quarterback? Deacon Jones coined the phrase sack because it felt like you were sacking a city. You score a touchdown, so many people can do that. How many people can actually get sacks? How many people can actually get over 100 sacks? There's 25 of us. How many people can get, 5,000-6,000 yards? A lot of them. What does it take to catch somebody? A quarterback to throw it to you. What does it take to create a sack? A lot of speed, heart, ingenuity, and a little bit of luck. And I have 115 and a half sacks. That's what it brings to it. So now you talk about NFL rivals. You're gonna have them good hits that you want to see. You're giving you everything you need. Like I said, I'm going back to the arcade games, back when you used to get on NFL Blitz, put in the quarters, and then start smacking people. That's what I'm here for. We talk about football. We talk about where I'm at. I'm at trying to catch this next sack of a quarterback.
Cam Jordan, great seeing you, man.
I appreciate you.
I love having you on, as always.
It all kicks off Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.